Hello, and thank you for listening to this episode of the Mars October Rants. Today I wanted to talk about boycotting and why I don't think it's really effective in the long term. Granted, I made a rant about protests, but I wanted to make a rant about boycotting because boycotting is similar to protesting, but boycotting is basically a little bit different because it means not going to somewhere or not supporting something because you disagree with their practices or what they're doing. And, I'm not going to make this very long because, people don't really like to listen to long rants. A lot of the time, people like a couple of minutes at best. But, I'll try to make it 5 minutes or less. I try to make them 5 minutes or less now on, maybe a little over, give or take. But to me, boycotting doesn't really work because a lot of the time, there's too many people that will still support whatever it is people are boycotting, Like McDonald's, for example, a lot of people don't like their business practices, especially recently with, them supporting the IDF or giving IDF soldiers meals and stuff like that. And people will think that, boycotting McDonald's will affect them or it will affect Israel in some way when boycotting McDonald's doesn't affect Israel at all, And even if, it wasn't that, say, McDonald's did something that you didn't like, and, let's say out of, I don't know, every day they sell millions and millions and millions of hamburgers, so let's say 15 million people, yeah, well, I'll be generous. Let's say 25 million people a day order at McDonald's around the world. Let's say that. And then let's say out of all those people, let's say 250,000 of them are choosing to boycott, Out of that, percentage, you're still going to have mass amounts of people that still support McDonald's, that still go there, that still buy their stuff. And I don't think 250,000 people out of 25 million people, or perhaps more, boycotting is going to do absolutely anything, Especially when these corporations have billions upon billions upon billions upon billions of dollars. You're not going to affect something that big, And like I said, because so many people are still going to support McDonald's and are still going to go there and buy their stuff. I'm just using them as an example. There's other stuff, places, Starbucks, people don't like, Chick-fil-A, because I know that, Chick-fil-A has been linked to homophobia and their values as a restaurant, being Christian-oriented, closing on Sunday. People don't like people that go there because they think they're homophobic. And, so many people still go to Chick-fil-A, thousands upon thousands and millions upon millions of people, I should say, I do orders there. I pick up orders and, I see tons of people, sometimes 50 people at once in there, So if you're really going to boycott something, you really have to make sure absolutely no one participates or supports, then it would be more, I'm not trying to say it doesn't work, but you have to do it on a lot smaller scale. Say it's a small business, I can understand it working with a small business that's owned by a family or something. And say it's in a community of a couple thousand people and no one in the fucking community chooses to go there anymore. That will affect them. That will fuck up their business. You have to do it on a smaller scale and you have to know what's possible, what's not possible. Boycotting, same with Walmart. I know Walmart does a lot of shady practices and a lot of people, have a lot of negative things to say about Walmart, but they're literally one of the most successful companies on the face of the earth. Literally, they compete with Amazon. They're that good. So you boycott, same thing, a couple of million people boycotting Walmart, that wouldn't do anything. And that would never even happen. So, you can't boycott powerful fucking companies that have shit tons of money, it's not going to work. You have to choose your battle correctly and choose, your fight and realize what you're getting yourself into because boycotting doesn't work a lot of the times, like I said, because there's too many people that will support it. So I know I repeat myself, but people just need to understand what I'm saying, everyone has to be on the same page if you're going to boycott, everyone has to gang together, I remember I was listening to a little bit off topic, but it'll make sense once I make this. There was like a guy and he was talking about why he thinks protests, I already made a topic about this, but he doesn't think protests are very helpful, do anything. And he says, you really want to revolt? Unplug yourself from the fucking system and stop buying every fucking bullshit they're selling to you. That's a real revolution, and he's right. Yeah, I did it in a kind of an aggressive voice because that's how he talks. I was trying to imitate him. But you know what I mean? Like, that's a real revolution, unplugging yourself from the system and stop buying every product people are selling to you. Like, that would really make a difference in the world. That would really be a revolution. But again, not everyone's going to do that, Not everyone's going to be able to unplug themselves. You're always going to have people that want to still do it. So it's not very effective when some people don't want to. You have to all be on board as a whole. But, maybe someone just doesn't really care if not everyone does it. Maybe they feel better if they're just boycotting themselves so they don't want to support something and it makes them feel good. That's fine. Like, maybe it's a morality thing. Maybe you feel like you're better and you feel more moral by not supporting something that you're against, and you really don't care if it affects them as long as you feel moral by not supporting them. Then that's totally different. But I'm talking about actually making change. People want to boycott stuff to make change. That's completely different. So anyways, thank you for listening to this episode of the Mars October Rants, and I'll make some more later or soon enough when I have a topic to talk about. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.